Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Cage Talk podcast on the All Sports Focus Network. Been a little bit since we've last recorded, unfortunately, between network issues, myself, scheduling issues, but
we are back.
Important. So today we'll be covering UFC Freedom 250 at the White House. First things first, I'm going to cover this. This is probably the most highly anticipated event, I'd say, since 300, I guess. But a lot of people don't think it lived up to the hype just because originally when it was talked about, like a year ago or more, it was like, we're gonna have 7 title fights. Not even a thing that is like possible, basically. So
the next few events following would be absolutely terrible if they were to try to do that. But they got 2.
Basically, basically fight nights after that.
Yes, our lovely fight night events.
We still do have a good card, I'd say, at least in my opinion. I don't think they messed up with the talent they did bring. A lot of people think get 7 title fights that you're going to get the 7, but that's just not a thing.
I think they covered the ground with the type of fighters that we should expect on the card. They kind of summarized what to expect out of a UFC card in lesser fights, and I do appreciate that. You have some just good fights in general. You got like barn burner matches with Lopez and Garcia, and then you've got some talent, upcoming prospects. Well, not prospects, because some of them are ranked, but you got Huffy and you've got Bo Nickel, who is still a prospect technically. And then you've got the big title fights with Ilya and Alex. You've got a good short and sweet event that I think everyone will enjoy.
Which, another thing unusual to most main events. There's no prelims. You just got the 7 fights. Which, in all honesty, some people probably gonna like more, because I know the more casual fan is not gonna sit down for an extra 4 hours to watch the early prelims and the prelims. They just want to jump right into the main fights.
Yeah, this is going to be something for everyone to watch, and it's a good timing at 8 p.m. to start everything. It'll go till, I'm imagining, probably 12 or 1-ish.
Midnight, probably.
Yeah. And I think it's meant for everyone. If you tag on more than the amount of fights there are, people are probably going to get bored at the start if they're not intrigued. But at least with this, it's more of like a shorter sample for everyone. This is celebrating, it's supposed to be America's Day, but it's kind of not. Weird how that's playing out. You'd think July 4th.
That is true.
Yeah, you think July 4th would be the day to do it because it's actually on a Saturday and it's Independence Day, but Donnie wants it on his birthday. It is what it is.
Big Don.
Sure. Yeah. Oof. We shall see. But let's hope he planned for rain if that happens.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch this on Monday.
We talked about it very, very briefly. I think it'd be super cool if they did fight in the rain. Like, that's pretty cool. I doubt they would do that just because it's sliding everywhere. But add a lot of additional cool factor if it was raining.
Yeah. Yes, sir. This is adversity we're talking about here.
Exactly. So I guess without further ado, let's just rip right into it, I guess. Starting it off, we got Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Which also, before saying anything, we are recording this on Thursday, so we haven't watched the weigh-in. So obviously, like, some crazy stuff could happen, pull out or something. Which a lot of these fighters are pretty good on making weight and all that, so I don't think we'll deal with that. But could happen. You never know what happens between the Thursday before fight and then what happens on Friday during weigh-ins and Saturday, obviously.
There's a minute where you think it's looking well, and then you see Cameron Smotherman collapse onto the ground, or Brian Ortega show up like a zombie. Our predictions could change at the flip of a coin depending on what we see.
Volkanovski shows up 15 minutes before a fight, and we get Lopez Volk.
Dude, the one everyone's been waiting for. Oh my God. I don't know how that's going to go. Dude, I can't wait.
He deserves a rematch.
Movsar? Who the hell is that? I don't care.
All right, and as I was saying, Lopez versus Garcia. And like I was saying, since the weigh-ins haven't happened yet, we don't have fighting ons on the actual UFC page. If you do want to go to like DraftKings or whatever sports betting app you use, I'm sure it'll be on there already. I will be.
For sure. All right. Well, to start off, Steve Garcia versus Diego Lopez. Steve Garcia is very good on the feet. He's shown to have very good power, knocking out most of, if not almost all, of his opponents. The exception being Calvin Kattar, who's very durable, respectively. And then you've got Diego Lopez, who's had two close, very, very well performed title fights with Volkanovski. The second one wasn't the closest, but he was still doing things that were relatively impressive compared to other opponents of Volk's. And then before that, you've got him dominating Gene Silva for the first round, suffering some adversity in the second, but then getting the spinning elbow, putting him out, stopping any concern for a possible comeback, which Diego is a kill or be killed fighter. It's admirable. I think between these two, Steve Garcia is very good on the feet, but his wrestling it's good enough to keep him off the ground at times, but Diego Lopez has shown to have very good wrestling fundamentals. He's shown to have very slick submission games against someone like Pat Sabatini is very impressive. Pat Sabatini is known for his wrestling. He's been doing very well recently, so that's a win that's aged well for Diego. I'm going to take Diego because I feel like he has more paths to victory. I think because of that wrestling weakness on Garcia's side, I think he's going to be exposed to a lot more flaws. And even if it were to be on the feet, I trust Diego's chin to take a lot of punches from Garcia. Garcia is very effective, but unless Diego's chin has somehow declined, I don't think it is. I do worry because, he's been in, now it's been a while since he's started. I do worry about it a slight bit, but I think Diego's got this. I think he's going to be wild enough to go for it and get it in the second round after. I think Steve is going to try to tire out. I think Diego's going to go for body shots, hooks. Steve Garcia is known to be exposed to hooks because he kind of extends forward trying to jab. Lopez is someone who likes when people go in. Volk was someone who would go in and then go out. So he wasn't really playing Diego's game. I feel like Garcia is going to try to play that to go for a knockout. And I think it's going to go against him. I think it's going to backfire. But
yeah. Obviously, since Diego's had multiple 5-round fights, having to fight Volk twice, hopefully 3 times in the future, I don't see any reality where Diego ends up getting gas, and I think it would definitely be more on the side of Steve to gas out. And I the second round TKO victory for Lopez, to be honest. He definitely has more versatility, and he can not only can he deal out big shots, but he definitely can take it. But in all honesty, I totally see Garcia catch him slipping, like maybe late in the round, and he kind of gets some wobbling or something, and it sets it up for like a early second round piece, kind of like how we saw with for Oscar when he got that knockdown at the end of the round, immediately the next round he just kick right to the head, gone. But I think this should be a fun fight. Don't see it going to a decision. Of course, most of the time I say that, and it ends up. I really don't see a pathway to a decision for either fighter. I think they're both going to be looking for that kind of put out shot. And like you said, Diego's grappling is decent enough. So maybe a solution, but I doubt that. So I'm going same as you, Lopez TKO in the second round.
Yeah, I think if Lopez were to use his grappling, because it's a factor, it just completely stops me from going Garcia's way. As much of a puncher's chance he has. It's also important to note that Diego, they both have similar fighting experience in terms of duration, but Diego's had more experience with higher level competition. Beating Gene Silva, especially where Gene Silva is now after beating Allen, who's also showed to look really good in his last fight. That win's aging well. Other fights that he's had are also doing well for him. Pat Sabatini, as I mentioned before. I think his experience with higher tier caliber fighters is more than enough for me to feel comfortable picking him as well. I think he's got this.
You don't just get 2 fights against the champ for no reason unless your name is Cyril Gane. But yeah.
Le Louver.
But in all honesty, I got Diego. Like we said, I think he just has a better resume as of right now. And I mean, Steve Garcia is definitely a great fighter. I think he's doing great things. You can see him doing a lot more in the future, but I think Lopez is going to put him out. Another thing I gotta mention here, these guys are tall for featherweights. They're both about 6 feet tall.
Dude, they're slimming down.
Volk is like 5'6". So like,
Dude,
the fact
the
that
shorter man strength.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, shut up, dude. We're done.
Yeah, fair enough.
Next fight, Bo Nickel versus Kyle Daukaus. This one's probably more a fight that like people see on the card.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest whatever fight on the card. I mean, I don't know if Michael Chandler, I guess, is a big name, but he doesn't really done a whole lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that next. But I got Bo Nickel winning this kind of easy, to be honest. I don't think Kyle Daukaus is going to be able to deal with Bo's grappling. Although Kyle does have decent takedown defense, I just don't see any reality where Bo Nickel is out wrestled at all. So Kyle's going to have to try to put it on the feet. And I think Bo honestly has good enough striking that he could win exchanges up top anyway. So I think I'm going to go Bo, but I think this is probably either unan or split decision. Either one's going to get a finish here.
I have to agree. I am picking Bo Nickel, but I'm not gonna count out Kyle Daukaus completely. He's come back after a pretty harsh attempt or a pretty harsh first run in the UFC. He got released after a flurry or fluctuation of wins and losses to opponents who aren't as prospected or as promised to be as good as Bo Nickel. But since coming back, he's had 2 fights, one against Michel Pereira, one against Gerald Mearshart, and he finished them both pretty early. He's looked very good in his return. I think there's going to be a better form of him going into this, but it's the wrestling that I do have a problem with. Bo has very strong grappling, as you mentioned. And while Kyle Daukaus does have good Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I feel like Bo is going to do a good job of avoiding that. I also think on the feet, I do kind of favor Kyle Daukaus, like pure striking wise. I think the threat of the takedown is going to prevent him from throwing as much or be as confident throwing as he would with someone like Michel Pereira, who guesses up pretty easily, or Gerald Mearshart, who is not doing good too recently. I think Bo, with enough control time and tiring as he could be, despite his last fight, I think he'll, like you said, control and land decent enough on the feet to take it to a 29-28 unanimous decision for him. I think Kyle Daukaus will probably pull something in the 3rd round out of desperation, and it'll be good enough, and then he'll think, why didn't I do that in the 2nd round or the 1st round or any time before? There's going to be that hesitation that is common with people going against grapplers who don't specialize in grappling themselves. But I will say, overall, this is probably the least important fight on the card. I know there's Huffy versus Chandler, where you're thinking, why is Chandler still fighting, why is he still fighting people that could easily just spark him unconscious? But at the very least with that fight, we'll get into it. At the very least with that fight, there's like promise of if Huffy beats Chandler, then he's getting pushed up to the higher rankings, and then there's fights set up for him. With Bo Nickel getting this win, I feel like we've stepped back and it's him getting his confidence back up again, and it's just us having to sit through it on a massive card that I feel like he shouldn't even be on too much. But yeah, I've got Bo Nickel.
Obviously, still up and coming, but I mean, he hasn't had too difficult of an opponent, I'd say. So it's like they tried pushing him really early. Still trying to push him, obviously, by putting him on this card, but I don't. Unfortunately for him, he's not fighting a high enough caliber of opponent yet to really push him anywhere in the rankings. I mean, I could see him, I guess, like he could push like the 15th in middleweight after this if he wins, like if he gets like a finish. But if he gets like a decision of some sort, I'd say he probably still stays unranked and then fights like 12 or something. All right, next fight, Mauricio Ruffy versus Michael Chandler. I don't really have much to say on this one, to be quite honest with you. I think Michael.
Why not?
At this,
What? You don't have faith in my boy Michael Chandler, Troy? What the hell's wrong with you?
I think Michael Chandler's chin at this point is like about as strong as a ball of Play-Doh, and it honestly seems like whenever he steps in there, he's just trying to like be entertaining with it. Like I think it'd be a lot, which obviously is good for fans, but I think he'd be better off doing some like WWE shit or something like that. Because like at the end of the day, like this is like fighting. Like you're at the end of the day, you're here to win, and I feel like Michael Chandler is just kind of here to like make money and then just
dip out at some point.
name like the fighting. Like he every couple years he always like puts his name back out there. I'm like, dude, can he like just stops at this point? Like
or do something with it.
or like at least like do something. But when was his last fight even? Was it Oliveira?
No, it was Patty back in like April of like the year before, like a year before, all over.
That people were like, Patty destroyed Michael Chandler. I'm like, dude, like that's
He made us think he would beat Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, that was. But yeah, I think I got Ruffy second round KO. I think Chandler will at least try to keep it competitive in the first round, but then Ruffy's striking is just gonna break through and just demolish his Play-Doh chin.
Yeah, I will say, I do like in a weird way, I do appreciate Chandler just putting his life on the line. It seems like every time he's trying to blitz forward, but in this moment, I'm gonna be more frustrated watching this fight. I'm gonna go with your decision. Your prediction. I'm fairly thinking the exact same thing. I'm seeing Michael Chandler's ability to grapple. He does relatively well with it, and I saw Mauricio struggle with Benoit Saint-Denis in a couple fights ago, where BSD utilized his grappling and made it It was effective, and he immediately got the submission sometime in the second round. If Michael Chandler were to see that, I would think, okay, game plan on this. You're known to wrestle very well. Try to use that to your benefit. But I don't think Michael Chandler thinks like that. I don't think he plans effectively for
I don't think he
any of his fights. And yeah. And so at that point, it boils down to puncher's chance, and the person that's trying to find the chance to punch is Mauricio. Each time when he's stepping back, measuring, focusing on his range with his opponent like he did with Fiziev, and I think he's going to find that shot at some point, probably earlier with Chandler, because Chandler is wild, but not wild enough to be unpredictable for someone like Hoofy to catch him with a shot from the back. I think Chandler is going to be wild. He's going to try a lot, but it's not going to be effective. And I think he might pull the first round, depending on how much Huffy throws. If he tries to just maintain distance and read Chandler, it depends on how much he throws in the moment. Because even with his last fight against Fiziev, he kind of did the same thing. And then second round caught him. Even though Fiziev took the first, he died in the second. So I feel like this will be a similar story where Chandler has some success at the start, but then once Huffy makes his reads, it'll be lights out for Chandler sometime mid-second round for a KO flash knockout. But good fight for Huffy. It'll be another name to boost him up. I
add to the list.
I'm fairly confident that he's taking that.
All right, next up, we got a heavyweight bout with the up and coming Josh Hokett and Derek Lewis, Black Beast. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about Josh Hokett, to be honest. Because, like, sure, he had a pretty great showing against Curtis Blades in his last fight.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. Like, obviously, Derek Lewis had a pretty bad loss last time he was in there. Like, that's when he was taking all the peptides and he's looking, like, really weird, like, before his weigh-in.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping Derek kind of learned off that last fight, like, I just gotta be who I am. I just gotta, get in there. Which Josh Hokett, obviously, he's gonna be looking for that KO, similar to Derek. But I mean, I would love to see Derek to win it, but at the same time, Hokett has been looking great. And I mean, although the heavyweight division is pretty weak right now, Josh is number 5. He has proven himself so far. So definitely going to be two titans just clashing up top.
Yeah.
So I think, unfortunately, I will take Josh Hokett by KO, and I think it's going to be third. I don't think it'll be early on. I think it'll be later.
Yeah, I do agree, but I feel like it'll be in the second. It depends on how Derek's conditioning is. It varies per fight. Because there's times where he can go the third, and then there's times where he just collapses, like he did against Waldo in the second. But I'll say, side note, when I say that this whole event sort of summarizes everything to expect or love about the UFC, this is one of the many types of fights where it's just two perceivably fat heavyweights just blobbing it out and and one of them will get the knockout eventually. I'm excited to see how that boils down. But if there's any chance to give Derek this win, it's his puncher's chance. It's his ability to land a shot out of thin air or just out of nowhere and put out someone as great as Alexander Volkov or Curtis Blades in the moment. But the issue is Josh Hockett. I don't care for his antics. There are times initially I found it entertaining, but then when you do the same rhythm over and over again, it kind of just I'm just like, okay, well, all right, I know what to expect. You got to spice it up a bit, my honest opinion. But his fighting style, it's equally as wild and out of just unpredictable as someone like Derek. But the difference is Hockett is more in his prime than Derek is. Derek is on the last limbs of his career. That last fight did not. He quit. He quite literally quit in that fight. I don't trust him to find the shot. But even if I were to give him the puncher's chance, I just watched Josh Hockett take however many strikes that he took against Curtis Blades, come out clean, even though it was a very close fight. Looked like he didn't get injured too badly, despite how many punches were landed on him. And now he's immediately stepping back into this. Part of me worries that his chin is still a bit affected by it. But I feel like if he can take that many punches from someone like Curtis Blades, who has knocked out a lot of other people with decent chins, I feel like he can take the most powerful shots from Derek Lewis and still withstand and push Derek Lewis forward and then find the knockout on him eventually. Again, Derek's chin has always been suspect against whoever he comes across. Pavlovich is kind of an outlier because Pavlovich is very powerful, but other people that he's won against, someone like Mark Hunt, whoever it may be, it's always kill or be killed with Lewis, but recently it's just been him getting killed. And the only times he wins, it's when he's against someone like Taliesin Teixeira, or I forgot the last person that he fought, that he beat, like Nascimento. People who aren't known for their power, and people who are there to kind of be finished with how they leave themselves open. Taliesin Teixeira just got sparked by Pavlovich. I don't even know why that fight happened, but he was always chinny to begin with. I never trusted Taliesin. When it gets to the point where those are the only people you are beating, I cannot trust you to beat someone who is surging like Josh Hockett is. As corny as I find him, he's good. He is battle tested at this point, and I trust him wholeheartedly to get the knockout in the second against Derek at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not too much else to say. It's as sad as it is.
Next up, we got a bantamweight bout. Sean O'Malley back in it.
Before I say anything, I want Derek to win, but we don't.
No, yeah, exactly. I feel the exact same way. I've Derek Lewis, he's been in for a while. It's always fun to watch him. Except these past couple, it honestly has hurt my heart to see him give up during the fights and stuff. But
yeah,
I'm pretty sure most of the people are going to be pulling for Derek to pull this one off. Whether you love Derek or you just hate how Josh Hockett, just his personality.
Yeah, for sure.
So, bantamweight, Sugar Sean back at it versus Ayman Zahabi.
Amian Zahabi, however we pronounce his name.
Yeah, you lead this one off, Jay.
Let me lead this one? All right. Well, to start off, O'Malley, we all know O'Malley as good as he's amazing. He's an amazing striker on the feet. He's on the back foot a lot of the times. He's got the range for it. He does a very good job of measuring his opponents. Do not let the 2 losses to Merab fool anyone, despite how Merab looked in his last showing. Merab is a machine. O'Malley can only do so much, and even with the first fight, he made it very close with Merab. Prior to that, anyone else that he has went against that is on the level of someone that Amian Zahabi has best fought, he has either sparked them unconscious. As much as it hurts me to say, he sparked Aljo unconscious. I'm still sad about that. To then beating the ever living, the life out of Marlon Vera, the next fight after. despite their controversies, he put on a masterful performance where it was the first time that Vera was as injured or looked horrid. Since then, Vera has not been fighting the same. But Vera, who has not been fighting the same, still managed to make it very close and competitive with Amy and Zahabi. Zahabi is no stranger to making fights very competitive despite his talent. Jose Aldo, someone who he fought just before Vera, also made it very close. As good as Jose Aldo is, he almost got finished, Zahabi. He almost got finished in that third round. He does not have I don't think he has the oomph to really push O'Malley back and get his respect. I feel like his reach is not, he doesn't have good reach. He's much shorter than O'Malley. Zahabi is very good on the feet. I have yet to see his grappling, but he is also relatively chinny. He's gotten knocked out before by things he hasn't seen. He's gotten spinning back elbowed. I forget who it was against, but he's been finished before. O'Malley hasn't. And in this case, you have to trust, you're either trusting Amy and Zahabi to outpoint O'Malley to a decision, or or he is just going to get flatlined, or he's going to get caught with something he hasn't seen before. O'Malley is a precision guy. He will snipe you from a distance. No matter how much Zahabi pushes forward, I feel like I know O'Malley is going to see him, measure him, step back, a lot of lateral movement. He's going to play his cards very carefully. And then when he sees the shot that he wants to take against Zahabi is very vulnerable. There's times where he closes in and he leaves his guard down a lot and he gets caught because of it. O'Malley's going to find it. I think he's going to sink the shot. I think it's going to take him to the second round to do it because Zahabi is good enough to stay on the feet and compete till then. But O'Malley's just going to be analyzing. He's going to be data. He's going to be doing a lot of data analysis in that first round. So I've got O'Malley with a second round KO. A lot of people, it's going to be like, where the hell did it come from? But you'll probably see earlier in the rounds where O'Malley's checking parts where he's like, okay, is that shot fair to make? Is that a good shot? Can I trust that shot to get the knockout? And then eventually he'll decide it is in the second and then get it. As good as Zahabi is.
I agree. I think Sean O'Malley and this is something I gotta give to Sean. After his second loss to Merab, it kind of seems like he took fights more serious. I know before that, when he was the champion and his fights previous to that, he was just kind of it almost seemed like he was playing with his food a lot of the time. But I think after his sub loss to Merab in the second fight, he's taken his opponents a lot more seriously, and I think that's helped him as a fighter to kind of really hone in on the precision shots that he's just so good at. Like you said, Sean fighting off his back foot is probably where he's best. I don't think he's as good when he's the one kind of pushing forward. I think his back, when he's on the back foot, so he can get that long reach involved, especially for bantamweight. I mean, he's damn near 6 foot.
Yep.
He's got reach for days. And another thing, exactly like you were saying, Zahabi just plays everyone close. That's an old Jose Aldo that he fought, and Jose pushed him pretty far. So I agree. I think Sean is going to do a lot of analyzing the first round, see what Zahabi's kind of going for, and then Zahabi's going to get some false confidence and push forward like he was in the first round, and then Sean's going to catch him with that one right or one left. I think it's going to be lights out for Zahabi after that.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
For sure. Another thing to add, Amy and Zahabi, as good as he is, he got dropped by Marlon Vera at some point. I believe it was in the first or second round in their fight. Vera has power, but how often does he throw? How often does he throw any strike that's that effective?
He's usually the one eating the punches, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. If Vera is comfortable landing a shot that puts you down, at least momentarily for that, imagine the field day O'Malley's going to have with his range, his size, and his experience. This guy beat Piotr Jan. Despite whatever people think, whether it's a robbery or not, he made it close and competitive with Piotr Jan, who is the current champion and who looked amazing against Jan, as much as I hate to say it. I cannot trust Amy and Zahabi, who has not beat as experienced opponents as O'Malley has, to then beat O'Malley, who just came off of a close but good win against Song Yadong, who also looked good in his last fight.
Yeah. I think old O'Malley, like he would see this guy and probably play around with him, like maybe just do that normal like swagger walk, whatever, like nonchalant shit. But like I said earlier, I think this is a different O'Malley after coming off that Marab loss. He's taking it a lot more seriously, and that's going to help him a lot more. I think he's going to be able to get the easier finishes than as crazy as to say easier finishes than what he used to get. And he used to get them pretty decently. So
Yeah.
I used to not hate, but I used to dislike Sean O'Malley because of his just like douchiness, I guess. But after that second Marab fight, he's definitely changed his tune, and I kind of root for him a little bit these days.
Yeah, I think a lot more fun can be had if he wins as well. Like the rematch with Petr Yan now that Jan's champ. If Sean builds himself back with this fight and then maybe one more, unless Marab doesn't fight Yan yet, then you could easily entertain that rematch happening, and it would be amazing. I would love it. I forgot what I was about to say, but another thing with this fight? Against Song Yadong, O'Malley had to worry about Song Yadong's power. Any strike could put you down. We don't know O'Malley's chin like that. With Zahabi, he's not much of a knock. He's not known for his power. He's known for his volume. O'Malley does not have to worry about getting finished. He doesn't have to worry about getting caught or getting put out cold. I think he's going to be a lot more relaxed going into this fight, knowing that, and I think it's just going to be easy work for not to minimize Zahabi's effects. I think it's going to be a lot easier for O'Malley to get into this fight compared to the fight like Song Yadong or even Petr Yan for that respect. I think this was made for Sean to get the win and move upwards.
All right. Next up, we got the interim title bout between Mr. Serial Eye Poke Gain and Alex Pereira. First things first, I gotta say about this. And I already know Joe Rogan's probably going to say about 5 times, how did he make 185?
Dude,
no, seriously, Pereira, I think if he gets this, becomes technically heavyweight champ, becomes the first ever 3-division champ, I think, we gotta bring up the conversation. Is Pereira the greatest to ever do it? And in my opinion, if you are able to dominate first 2 different divisions and then come up to heavyweight, beat like one of the only real contenders in heavyweight, and take the interim title belt, in my opinion, I feel like he's got to be the GOAT.
Yeah, he's definitely in my Mount Rushmore after that, and he's not 4th. He will be. It would be monumental. I want that to happen so badly. Before we get into our predictions, you guys need to know we are making our predictions assuming that Ciryl Gane's fouls will not be strong enough to end this fight in a no contest.
Well,
notice how I didn't say he won't commit fouls. He's going to commit fouls. Now,
I saw a post and I saw the videos. I'm pretty sure every single fight he's had, he's committed a foul.
Probably. I forget how there's a chance it might have happened with his second Volkov fight, but I know he eye poked Aspinall. I know he low blowed John Jones.
Low blows, multiple eye pokes, hits the back of the head,
elbows the back of the head, to name a few.
I did see another thing, Alex. If he wins this belt, he said he's not going to wait for Aspinall, because Aspinall said he's not going to be cleared for another however many, like a few months, I think at least.
Yeah.
And Pereira was like, I'm 38 right now, dude. I don't have a whole lot of time left, so I'm open to challenges as soon as if and when I get that interim title belt, I'm open to challenge immediately. Which it's not like there's crazy competition to be had. I feel like if he wins and Josh Hokett beats Derek Lewis, then I feel like there could be an argument to be made that Josh Hokett gets the next interim title bout fight. I guess against either Pereira and if Gane doesn't want to wait for the Aspinall rematch, then Josh Hokett could go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we kind of have to with the Aspinall situation, which that's still just such a. It's just that sucks because Aspinall, in all honesty, was probably Like, I mean, everyone thought he was getting pieced up, but like he has such a lightning ability, just kind of like he's the fastest heavyweight without a doubt. I think like he's so agile, strikes are fast, he's good on the ground. I it just the whole timeline of events for the UFC just got destroyed. It's when Shirogan reached five knuckle deep in his eye.
Oops. Well, I'll say this. Another thing to note, Aspinall is someone who tends to get a feel out of the fight and before he does much. Even against Pavlovich, he got landed on a few, like Pavlovich hit him a few times before Aspinall stung him with his own right. Same thing with Curtis Blades. He didn't have much success, but Aspinall gets a feel, he gets tagged early, and then he comes with something. In this fight, in the Ciryl Gane fight, he gets tagged with a lot of stuff. Ciryl Gane's doing very well, but there's still a lot of time left in the first round to go. How do you know he's not going to find something or time him with something? Anything can happen. So the reason that fight sucks is because it's inconclusive and it's like not counted because of that, and it's all Ciryl Gane's fault. But I'm thinking before we make our predictions, I'm thinking if Alex were to win, if he were to beat Ciryl Gane, and how they would move forward, Volkov is someone who deserves the next shot after. If he doesn't want to wait for Tom Aspinall, if he wants to get right back in there, then Volkov would be the perfect opponent because Volkov's earned it. He should have gotten the nod against Ciryl Gane in the first place. It's almost I forget the term for it, but it would be justice for Volkov, is what I'm saying. And he would have earned it. It's fair. And it would be perfect as a fight to set up for when Aspinall comes back. I think it makes perfect sense. However, when we get into our predictions, this fight, I go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth because Alex Pereira, and as much as I hate Ciryl Gane, they both have like not the same kind of experience, but they both have similar duration of experience with fights. As much as Ciryl Gane doesn't deserve it, he's had plenty of title fights like Alex Pereira has. They both know what it's like to fight for a title. They are both primarily strikers, and they are both very tactical about how they approach their fights. My prediction, initially I thought, okay, I'm going to go with Ciryl Gane because he's more natural at heavyweight. But then I went, I'm going to go Alex Pereira because I think the leg kicks will do a lot for him against Ciryl Gane. But now, as I'm going back to Ciryl Gane, as much as I hate to say it, I don't like Ciryl. I do not want him to win. I would hate if he won because he wasted my time at Buffalo Wild Wings. But the issue is with this fight, for me, how I feel about it. Ciryl Gane is someone who you think, okay, the leg kicks are going to be the biggest problem. He showed to have a bit of a weakness to them against Tom Aspinall in their fight for as long as it lasted. Ciryl Gane is someone who will prepare tactically for his fights. He knows Alex Pereira is going to have the leg kicks that will affect him most. Knowing that Ciryl Gane has come out from a Muay Thai background, he has a Muay Thai background. He's been conditioned to leg kicks at a severe level. I think he can work around that and plan for that in advance. Another thing to note, a lot of the people Alex Pereira has fought are people who do not have nearly as good of footwork as Ciryl Gane. That's the one thing Gane is known for. That's how he was able to outland Aspinall in the time that the fight went. He was backing up, he was moving on his feet, he was very swift, and then he was tagging when he felt he was comfortable to strike, and anytime Aspinall tried to go for a shot to the head, Ciryl was very defensively responsible. I think he has what it takes to avoid Alex Pereira's most powerful shots. Another thing to note, this is Alex Pereira's first time at heavyweight. We don't know how fast he's going to be. I cannot expect Alex Pereira to have the same success with everyone else where he moves forward and he traps them against the fence and then he lands something of significance, whether it's against his second fight with Ankalaev where he hits the right hook, or how he backs up Jamal Hill, who is infamously known for his poor footwork, or even with someone like Prohaska where he doesn't back them up to the fence, but he gets approached by Prohaska and he catches him because Prohaska does not have the best defense. We saw in this last fight. Ciryl Gane is somebody who is very well rounded in a lot of the things that people would want to have against Alex Pereira. You want good head defense. You want to be able to defend your head well. Gane has that. You want to be able to avoid a lot of the striking, like a lot of the leg kicks, by maintaining distance. Gane is great at that. Gane is not someone who's going to get trapped against the cage. He's someone who moves back. He moves left and right. He's very lateral. He's swift. He moves back forward, and then he picks you. He finds the shot, and then he will back out quickly. The weakness that Ciryl Gane had before was the fact that he got taken down so easily against Ngannou and obviously against Jones. Another thing to consider, the reason this fight is so complicated is because Ciryl Gane and Alex Pereira both have had their weak moments. Ciryl Gane, I think he lost this fight against Volkov because Volkov was bigger. Volkov had a lot more distance to utilize, and he was using leg kicks more effectively because he was the larger person. In this fight, Alex Pereira and Ciryl Gane are going to be of similar reach and of similar height. They are both as even as can be. I think I want Alex Pereira to win, but I feel like this is too much for someone to ask for Alex Pereira to get a KO against, because Ciryl Gane is defensively responsible enough. At the most, I think the leg kicks will be a problem, but Gane's conditioned for it. I don't think this fight's going to be that entertaining, and that's why I hate saying this. I think it's going to be a classic unanimous decision where Gane is finding his shots inward and then backing out immediately, and then it's tag, tag, tag. Pereira's going to get a little bit frustrated, not going to be landing as much as he would like. The leg kicks will be good, but not good enough for him to find the shot upwards, because Gane won't be focusing on the legs too much if he doesn't find it effective. But yeah, I'm going to go, and also I could go back to like Jan Blachowicz' fight with Alex Pereira, where Blachowicz was giving him trouble on the feet. This was before Pereira developed as good of takedown defense as he had before, but purely on the feet, Blachowicz was finding a lot of traps, was finding a lot of success in those moments, even though Pereira was getting the better of them. I feel like Ciryl Gane can take advantage of some of the openings that Alex provides when he plots forward, when he moves forward. Now, I would love to be wrong. I would love for Pereira to get leg kicks in and then bait Ciryl Gane somehow inward to land a hook and put out Gane. Gane's chinny. The reason he has good head defense is because he can get dropped easily. If Tai Tuivasa can do it, then Alex Pereira certainly can. Especially with the amount of weight especially now that he's higher up in weight. He's got more power in his bones. But I worry, and I'm going to assume that, one, Gane might eye poke him. That's just another thing to think about. He might foul, and that'll play to his benefit, unfortunately, and we're going to hate him for it. I think he is going to be scummy enough in that factor to pull out a unanimous decision. I think Pereira will get the first couple rounds, but then Gane will have understood his moveset at that rate. And I think it will be an unfortunate decision for Gane. Please disagree with me.
Yeah, I got to.
Yes.
I really only see this fight ending two ways. Like you said, Gane, unanimous, or Pereira puts him out in the fourth. I think this fight for Pereira, first of all, a lot of people online are like, look at Gane at this weight and look at Pereira. Pereira is fat and Gane is shredded. First things first, I gotta dispute that. Pereira had to put this weight on to get to this weight. Gane has been fighting at this weight his whole career, so he's easily able to he hasn't had to focus on putting mass on. He's been able to focus on just making muscle mass and cutting. Realistically, if you've been fighting at heavyweight your whole life, you're a lot bigger than what your heavyweight fighting size is. Realistically, they're probably going to step in here 260 something. Realistically, Gane and his natural weight is probably 290 at least.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something to think about, why Gane looks so much more shredded than Pereira does at this weight. Another thing, obviously, I agree. Gane having fight this weight for so long, he's got his it down, he knows all that, he's got his speed, and we don't know what Pereira's going to be at yet, because he's just had to put on so much mass, which is an unfortunate factor.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Pereira's still going to be Pereira.
Yep.
He's obviously a very mature fighter. He's been through a lot of moments in his career where he's been back up against the wall and he's just come out. But he's also very tactical. I think this fight is going to be very similar to the Will Roundtree fight. Obviously, I don't think Gane will gas out in a similar fashion as Khalil does every time he has to fight after 3 rounds. because Khalil just after the third round is basically like on running on empty every time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Pereira will be able to work down Gon eventually after the second round and kind of work him in the third, and then get him dropped maybe in the third.
Mm-hmm.
And then finish in fourth. But I think Khalil is probably the closest resemblance Pereira's seen to Gon.
Mm-hmm.
Just similar fighting style, I'd say, for the most part, because of the Muay Thai background. Obviously, Gon isn't going to throw the leg kicks like Khalil did. Like, Khalil was very big into that, like kick, that, which Gon is definitely more of a jab and find your shot type of guy.
Yeah.
And like elbows and stuff like that. But I think Pereira, I think one of his biggest advantages is that he always essentially a couple fights. He finds the shot he's looking for, whether it be that hook or that high head kick. He always finds a shot. I think truly he's gonna wear him down, wear Gon down enough that he'll be able to find that shot.
Mm-hmm.
And whether Gon's expecting it or not, at the end of the day, Pereira's power is the greatest in the UFC for a reason. And I think if he gets caught on the chain once, it could potentially be game from that.
Definitely. For sure. I think that gives me hope that Alex will win. As I mentioned before, this is as much of a 50-50 fight as you can get. You cannot get any more competitive than this, and I love that this fight is happening because of that. What gives me more hope that Alex could take it, as although I am picking Ciryl Gane, I do know, as I've seen him before, when Ciryl Gane moves laterally, he tends to lean a little too far right or too far left, depending on where he's going. Pereira would love to set that up to push forward, make him move side to side, back him against the fence, and then find a head kick that would just go against his movement and completely switch him off. I hope that happens. I could see it happening, like envision it. And I'm hoping that happens. I'm going with Gon because I feel like it's the safer pick, just knowing his experience and factoring all that. But it's very possible that Alex takes it. I would be happy if he took it for sure.
I think if Pereira had, had a couple more fights at heavyweight, then I feel like this would be a lot easier to say Pereira, because like we'd see what he is at this weight and see how he fights. Being that it's his first and only fight at heavyweight thus far, and Gon's been there his whole career, I think it makes it a lot more dangerous to pick Pereira. Just because it's not, we don't know. Like, obviously, we've seen him move up in the weight class, but all due respect to those light heavyweights, I love a lot of them, but like a lot of the time their defense wasn't the great, especially like a lot of them like dropping their hands. Jamal just doesn't care. He thinks he's the shit, and then he gets dropped. Khalil gasses out. So like a lot of their defenses wasn't phenomenal. I think Gon probably has better defensive motion and just the responsibility, like you were saying. I still have Pereira on KO, but I could see it unanimous decision for Gon in the end if Pereira can't find a shot, even though he, like I said, he usually does end up finding a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess the overall concern that I have is so much pressure is on Pereira, like insane amount. The 3-division champion. No one else has that. No one else has come close to tasting that concept of like success. He's got a lot riding on this, and he has everything going against him in the regard that he's moving up to someone who is more natural, who is also light and fast. He's got I forget how it goes. He's got someone who is more defensively responsible than anyone he's fought before. I hope he can do it. If he does this, if he pulls this off, greatest combat sports athlete of all time. Absolutely. I can't debate that. And I think he would be the best UFC fighter. So I think he would overtake John Jones, because as good as John Jones is, as much as we don't like the steroid sheets and all that, if we put that to the side, Jones won light heavyweight and heavyweight. He did not win middleweight. Alex won middleweight, light heavyweight, and could win heavyweight. There is much more to be proud of in that moment, especially knowing that the modern fighters are a lot better at fighting than the older generation. At least Ankalaev is legit. I don't like him. He's legit. Yuri Prohaska, I love him. He can get sparked pretty easily, but he has to. But he is amazing. He has done so well against other opponents who we probably thought before would win. I thought Julio would win. I was wrong. He's proven me. Adesanya, perfect. Probably his best win so far, if not anyone else, if not Uncle Liev or anyone. This opponent that he's fighting, Surreal is probably the second greatest opponent that he's fighting under Adesanya, and and if he can beat Adesanya, then there's the highest chance that he can beat Gunn. It's obvious. It's not. There's no hope. No. That's the worst. That's the worst miswording. There is all hope that he can pull it off, and it would be amazing. The fan in me wants to see that happen so badly.
All right. Oof. Final fight, the main event. Justin Gaethje, interim lightweight, heavyweight, lightweight title holder versus the former lightweight holder Ilya Topuria. Ilya obviously resigned the title, having to deal with some personal stuff, which I mean that happens. You know, you can't. I wouldn't want to.
He didn't resign. No, he had.
Oh, okay.
He's still got the belt. He's still got the.
See, okay, and that's one of the things I hate about the UFC. It's like, oh, he didn't technically give up the title, but we're gonna have interim. Like, bro, just have a next up contender, bro. Like, it would be the exact. There's no point. There's no point in doing all.
Yeah. Right? For sure.
Anyway,
that's fair.
He gave up his title with personal issues, which I wouldn't want him preparing for a fight during what he was having to go through anyway. He probably wouldn't been focused on the fight at all. But now he is back, maybe better than ever. Justin has been getting under Topuria's skin like no other. I have not seen. We've seen Topuria get feisty and stuff in like the press conferences, but he's been saying like, I effing hate you, I'm gonna destroy you, like you brought my ex-wife into this, you brought my daughter into this, like I'm some actual genuine
little bit of animosity there.
Animosity coming from Ilya here, which I don't think Ilya's the guy I'd want to piss off out of most UFC fighters.
Like, I don't think he's the person that's going to go into a fight emotional. I think he's just going to take that as fuel to go in and perform likely even better than he is. Notice how we were talking about, the introduction that we're giving is extremely long. This is because our prediction, we know what's going to happen. We don't even need 2 minutes to talk about it. Do you want to go first?
First things I gotta say. So we obviously didn't cover the last event where Sean Strickland, like I predicted, by the way, I've been saying this months before it happened. Like, Sean Strickland by the grittiest, most disgusting split decisions you've ever seen, and that happened. This is not one of those underdog American hero. Not this one. Not. Ilya will. I mean, okay. Max Holloway. Alexander Volkanovski. What's another big one I could throw out there? Like
your favorite.
DP.
No. Mr. All of it.
Yeah, all those guys, great strikers, great chins on most of them, I'd say, for the most part. And Charlie sometimes has a great chin, sometimes he doesn't. Volk obviously did get sparked by Islam as well, but he's probably the top 5 champion of all time in the UFC. I mean, he's also making a statement to be like one of the greatest of all time, and he's dominating his division as old as he is. I think he's 39 or 38 at least.
Yeah.
Ilya's resume is just so insane.
Yeah.
He's 7-0. Great power, great wrestling. He doesn't really even have to use it, but because he just sparks every he fights. But I just don't see a pathway for victory for Gaethje here, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, and even if you don't take into account the losses he gave to Volk and Olives, Max Holloway, the guy who we have known for so long as the guy with like the granite chin who does not get finished. Ilya put on an amazing performance. It was competitive at the start, but then he pulls through and finds the shot in the third. The thing is, I love that it was competitive too, because this fight going into it, it's going to be a back and forth. Gaethje's going to throw. Ilya is already, as whatever Gaethje offers, Ilya is already familiar with that and more. He knows what it's like to undergo adversity. He brawled it out. He duked it out with Charles, who is still very good on the feet. He took elbows from Charles. It was very impressive. Charles tested his grappling. Ilya passed, in my opinion. He showed very good defense, and he got him in crucifix. How do you get olives in crucifix? Insane. Gaethje is not going to be someone who goes for the takedown. We know this, so I don't even have to talk about that too much. This is going to be pure striking on the feet. If Ilya goes for the grappling, he should not have much trouble. I doubt he's going to, because he probably wants to. He is someone who, yeah, he wants to give the fans a good show, which I respect, and that usually means standing on the feet and striking.
Justin does too. I think that's the great thing about this.
Yeah.
Whether Gaethje gets KO'd in the first round or they end up going like 4 or 5 rounds, just cause it's going to be a show.
It's going to be a great showing. And this goes into my prediction, factoring all this in. We don't even have to talk about it for too long. Ilia Topuria stated that he believes he's going to get the knockout in the first round. Despite Ilya getting other fights picks wrong with Paddy and Gaethje and other ones, Max beating Charlie, even though I can't blame him. I did the same pick and I suffered for it. Despite his incorrect pickings of other fighters, he tends to predict his fights very well. I am conforming to Ilya's prediction, and I'm going to say that he starches Justin in the first round, as I feel like 5 minutes is a lot of time for Ilya to analyze someone like Justin. He plans so far in advance. I remember him talking in his interview where he's planning what he thinks Justin's going to do to him. He's planning what Justin's going to do, and then he's going to plan on top of that. So whatever Justin does, Ilya's going to be prepared for that, and then whatever Justin tries to do to adapt, Ilya's going to be on top of that as well. That is actually, I expect that from Ilya at this point in time. He is that good, and he is that prepared for every fight that he approaches. And against the fight with Josh Emmett is probably although Emmett's not he's a good striker, but he's kind of predictable. Ilya was able to show great boxing against him. And Emmett is someone you do not want to trade with. And Ilya did it, and he was putting a beating. That fight does make me doubt my first round pick against Gaethje. But Gaethje has gotten flattened before. He's gotten flatlined. Even if it was a flash knockout against Max, I feel like Ilya is going to know how that knockout happened. He's going to catch him with something that he doesn't see, and it's going to put him out bad. And I do like Gaethje, so it's kind of going to suck to see it, but it's going to be insane nonetheless.
I don't know why we spent so much time on this one.
Yeah.
My prediction, KO, whatever round Topuria wants.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were trying to make it interesting. It
would be a good fight regardless, but...
For sure,
right,
for sure.
Just to recap, me and Jake both have Diego Lopez, both have Bo Nickel, both have Rufy, both have Huckett, as much as we'd love to see Derek Lewis win.
Yep.
We both have Sean O'Malley. He has Cyril Gane, unanimous decision. I have Alex Pereira, 4th round TKO. And I believe we both have Ilia Topuria, whatever round he wants.
Yeah.
So
that's a perfect summary.
Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I know it's a little longer, but we also just a pretty big event, and we also had covered any fights in a while.
Yeah.
Make sure to check the links below for merch and all that, and the other podcasts. We'll probably get another basketball one up soon as the finals are wrapping up. F the Spurs. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the UFC event this weekend. Should be a good one. And peace out. Peace out.
You guys take care.